Your father says to me, he has to come through because he owes you a huge apology. Your dad said to me, I should have never pushed you out of my life. Hi, Alex. Hi, Leslie. How are you?
Good. We're good. How are you?
Good. First of all, where are you guys from?
Wisconsin.
Oh my God, that's so amazing. Well, first of all, I'm so glad that you're here. And right away, there's a couple different souls that are stepping forward. So first of all, did your father depart?
Both of ours did.
Okay, I'm talking to you right here. So, no, you.
Me? Yeah.
Father's here. He kept saying to me, Matt, that's my daughter. That's my daughter. So know that your dad is stepping forward, allowing you to know that he's here and that he's with you. Because he says to me, Matt, he goes, she's been begging me to come through.
Yes.
He says, and what's so crazy, he goes, is she was looking around the house, Matt, trying to find things of mine. He's like, to maybe bring with her. Shut the hell up. So you brought his pictures because he's like, Matt, I'm right with her. He's like, she's got things hidden around her, all of my stuff, he's telling me. He goes, and if you talk about this, she's going to know that this is real. And first of all, the first thing that he wants to acknowledge, all right, is that he's so sorry for everything that you had to go through with his passing. You know, this was a tragedy in how your dad had died here in this world. He was not supposed to die in this way. And he's stepping forward to acknowledge this. And more importantly, he tells me when I'm connecting with him that, first of all, he's bringing me back to his passing, and souls will sometimes put me back in their body. And when I'm connecting with your father, he's saying to me that, oh my God, I don't even know where to begin with this man. He's talking a million miles an hour when I'm connected. And by the way, you wear his clothes. He's telling me of clothes of his that you wear.
I have clothes of his, yeah.
Because he said to me, Matt, he goes, can you just let her know that I see her wearing her clothes? And your dad thinks this is so cool. He can talk to you like this. He goes, Matt, this is so cool. This is so cool. He goes, I get to check up on her all the time. But also when I'm connecting with him, your dad is showing me that he was trying to be revived here in the physical world with his departure. And that's what's so painful, because he tells me that you did not get to say goodbye to him when he had departed. He says, and Matt, what's so sad about this is that my daughter's looking for answers. He says, because you didn't even know that this was coming.
I didn't.
I gotta tell you something, neither did he. There's one thing though that your dad regretted, and your dad's telling me that he was not feeling good that whole week before he died. Do you understand that? He says, but I never went to the doctors, he's telling me. And he's telling me when I'm connecting, Matt, because there was something that was going on with his heart, he's telling me. So was he having heart issues at the time, do you know?
I hadn't talked to him for over a year.
Because he's bringing this up when I'm connecting with him. And let me ask you this. When I'm connecting with your dad, your father keeps coughing to me. I keep hearing him coughing and coughing and coughing. Do you remember him coughing here in the physical world?
Yeah.
This is dry cough where I feel like I can't catch my breath, and I'm coughing when I'm connecting with him, which is his way of showing me that there were deeper issues of what was going on in his body. And not only that, I'm going to be honest with you. Your father's showing me that he was on pills before his departure. And he was on pills. These were actually pain pills he's showing me. I see pain medication. Do you know about that? Because he says to me, Matt, I tried to hide this. I'm surprised you knew, because he's showing me, Matt, I tried to hide this. I didn't want my daughter to know about this. And your dad did this because of the pain that he was in every day. He tells me that. But I'm going to be honest with you. Instead of going to the doctor, your dad's telling me that he tried to treat himself. And with that, I see that he got pills that were not from a doctor. That's here. Did you know about that part?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So I see him trading pills with friends. There were friends that are around him that were giving him pills and giving him things. He says, and Matt, this is how I died. These pills caused your father to have a heart attack. That's what I'm seeing. Because he said to me, I should have been more careful. I should have been more careful. Your dad that week was not feeling good. He was having pains. And I'm going to tell you what it was. He was actually having, shoulder pain and back pain. And that was his heart. He didn't realize it at the time. Your dad was having issues with his heart. Then he shows me him taking pills. Next thing you know, I see him flatlining. And I see that I see paramedics and whatnot trying to revive him. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Your father says to me, he has to come through because he owes you a huge apology. Your dad said to me, I should have never pushed you out of my life. Because I'm going to be honest with you, after your dad had died, he tells me that you have been going through such anxiety and such pain every single day. He says, and Matt, she doesn't know where it's coming from. Every day you've been getting anxiety, and your dad shows me that you've been having issues sleeping, and you've been having issues doing all these things. I'm going to tell you what that anxiety is from. Your dad says, it's all because of me. It's all because of me. He's whispering that in my ear. Because what was so crazy is that you are holding on to regret for not talking to your father. And your father says to me, it wasn't you that pushed me out of your life. He says, I push the closest people away. Do you understand that? Because your loved ones will show me everything. And your dad shows me you trying to have a relationship with him. He shows me you trying to go and communicate with him. And you know what's so sad? Your dad said to me, Matt, he goes, I got to be honest. He says, I wasn't a good dad. He shows me he forgot your birthday.
Yeah. Yep.
Because he says to me, he sees the way that he hurt you from the other side. The things that you never even get to share with your dad, he sees. Because I see that I see you crying because you didn't get a happy birthday from your dad. He shows me you sitting in the room and being so upset because, you didn't have this relationship with him. And he says, Matt, he goes, I'm getting upset just seeing your backstory. Your father goes to me, there was a time he goes, Matt, past year we didn't talk. He says, that was the time in my daughter's life when she needed me the most. He says, and I let her down. So your dad says to me that he's stepping forward to let you know on the other side that he truly does love you. And more importantly, he says, Matt, I wish I was smart enough here in this world to know that nothing else mattered. He's also tells me the name David.
That's my dad.
Oh, your father's with him. He's telling me David's here. David's here. Your dad tells me that you just got the chills.
I did.
That was your father's soul that just went right through you, because your father just stepped forward and he said to me, Matt, I got to let her know that I'm there. And let me tell you something. This was a man who had suffered before his passing here in this world, because your dad just said to me, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. And he shows me that the one thing that he wants you to know is that he shows me how hard it was for you to say goodbye to your father. Because I see you like walking out, like you were in front of him and you were smiling and you spent time with him. And then I saw you leave the room and be like, I can't do this. I can't watch my dad go through this. Your dad just said to me, thank you for staying by my side, because he's acknowledging that. You know what's crazy? Your father's here and he's whistling to me on the other side. He shows me he used to whistle here in this world. And you know why he's showing me that? That's a sign that he's using to reach you. Did you, like the other day, think like you heard somebody whistling? Could you hear that in your ear?
Yes.
That's crazy, isn't it? That was your father.
Oh my God. I was at work and I'm like, who's whistling?
That was your dad, because he shows me him whistling on the other side. He's like, Matt, I was playing jokes on her. She heard me. She heard me. That was a sign from your father. He's acknowledging that. He says, but the one thing that he wants to let you know is that there was nothing that you could have done differently in your life when he died, because you still go back and you have all of this pain saying, I wish I was there for him, or I wish I could have been there. Your father goes to me, no, this illness hit him all at once. He's acknowledging that to me. And you know what's crazy? Is that your father didn't know how ill he was. He thought he just had the flu in the beginning. And then it went into his lungs, he shows me. He shows me there was this infection that was in his lungs and in his abdomen. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And you know what's even crazier? Because spirits will put me back in their body to show me what had happened. I just felt my whole stomach just blow up when I'm connecting with him. And then next thing you know, it's like your dad just died. So he says to me, Matt, there's one thing that was so sad. He says, I was supposed to be coming home, he tells me. Yeah. And I never got to come home. And you know that your dad tells me that he knows that you cleaned his house for him or got his house ready? Is that correct? Is that true? Because he's telling me that.
Yeah, I went to visit my mom and help her.
So when you got the house all ready and you're like, Dad's coming home, you got everything all straightened out, but he never made it. Your dad still saw that in heaven, because that was a surprise. So know that this is both your father's way of letting you know that they are in heaven. And they're together in heaven for a reason. Not because they love each other in heaven. They're in heaven because they're both here watching over you. So know that as you both miss them, and as hard as it is, know it's their way of acknowledging that every day that goes by that you are truly not alone. They are with you on the other side. They are sending you signs. And this is just validation that they are forever by your side. I really hope that this helped the both of you.
Yes.